Good morning. This is Bob Bolitho and I'm MaryLee Bolitho. We've been your missionaries for some time now. We're currently back in the US so that we actually have internet all the time and power all the time and all kinds of good things like that. We can even go shopping. In 2008, Mr. Bob and I arrived on the ground in Uganda. As we traveled through Uganda and parts of Kenya doing 4-day pastors' conferences, we discovered what the real problem, the real need was in Africa. And that was to get the pastors trained, because they were definitely not leading their flock to heaven. Some of them didn't even own a Bible. So of course they didn't have much to go on from there. As we did that, people were so hungry for the truth, and I know Mr. Bob was thinking, we'll go back to the US and we're going to raise millions of money and thousands of missionaries. And of course that wouldn't be sustainable, but we also don't know people who can provide millions of dollars. God had a better plan. So we are a very distinct ministry. We're now in 23 African countries and India, and I hope I'm not going to confuse your part here, but we started with a Bible study of 12 men in our dining room in 2008, and God has just grown that exponentially. I'll leave that for Bob to tell you about, but that's how we started. We came thinking we were going to do one thing: business manager, placement officer for a Bible university. They need an African to do those particular jobs. And so God just showed us why he got us there. And it's been a wild ride ever since.
That's true. I'll give you an update since the last time we were here several years ago. One big thing is that we moved back to the United States. So there's some personal reasons, but the big reason we moved back was the ministry needed us to be here in the United States. As we grew and spread out we're now in 23 African countries and India, we needed reliable internet, we needed reliable electricity, we needed safety, which we weren't getting in Uganda. And so we moved back 2 years ago. One of the things that I'm supposed to do is raise money for the ministry, and that's another reason we had to be in the United States. Now, as it turns out, God's plan of bringing us back was a good one, because things have really gotten bad in Uganda. They're right now in the midst of another lockdown. They've had a year of lockdown, brutality, the way they enforce the lockdown. If you're out and they think you're violating curfew, they shoot you. And so and then along with that, I developed some real health problems. I had polio as a kid, and now the symptoms are coming back, and so I need treatment that I could not get in Uganda. So God blessed us by bringing us back, and as my wife said, he's blessed our ministry for many years now. We started the formal part of Africans Teaching Africans in 2010. It was one pastor's class, which I figured I could probably teach 3 pastor's classes, trying to teach them how to preach and teach using the Bible. Well, God had a different vision than I had, and next thing I knew, we were international. We were in Kenya and Sudan, and it just kept growing to where now we've changed our name to Christians Teaching Christians. The latest count, and I tried to put a little excitement in my voice, we just got these figures a week ago. At the end of June, we had over 6,000 classes with over 107,000 students. 43 African countries, India. 23, I keep saying 43. 23 African countries and India, and also we're working on Indonesia now. The current vision has changed from that original vision of just a few pastors being trained in several classes to a worldwide ministry. Our kind of teaching is needed any place in the world where you have Christians and they lack adequate Bible colleges and Bible seminaries. And sadly, that's most of the world except for maybe Europe and North America. So we're trying to fulfill that vision by looking for people that will open us up in the Americas, Central America, South America. We have a number of distinctives. I can't go into all of them now, it would take too long, but we're very simple Bible teaching. All the teaching notes which I've written were written by a layman. They're written so that normal, common people, anyway, I get these compliments all the time from Africa. People love the teaching, they can understand it. And if you want to look at it, go to our website sometime. It's christiansteachingchristians.org. And if you check there, you'll see all the teaching notes, and you can even see them in some of the languages they've been translated to. Another thing that's different about us is we're all indigenous work. All our workers, except with two exceptions, early people, they are volunteers. We are the only two Westerners involved in that ministry of over 6,000 servants. We don't buy buildings, we don't buy property, we're very low budget. Our only expenses really are travel money for our leaders to go open up new classes, and then Bible money as we can get Bible money. Mm-hmm. And another thing is we started out teaching pastors, and then along the way, we started allowing everybody to come. So now we're training pastors, we're also training housewives, mothers, how to teach their children, tool of evangelism. Local Muslims will go to the classes, the local witch doctors go.
Yes.
And so it's a ministry I think has great potential to expand to vast numbers, much over 100,000. But it's going to take, and I'm going to come into our prayer requests right now, it's time that somebody else takes over and directs the ministry. I'm approaching 78 later this year, and I've got some health issues. And the way it is now, we have a board of directors, and we're all concerned that if I die, who's going to keep the ministry going? So that's something to pray about, that somebody replaces me. We need new prayer partners. And this ministry is very successful, and it's attracted the attention of Satan, and we get a lot of attacks. So we have prayer lists we send out every month. If you'd like to get on them, I'll give you some information in a minute about that. Okay, we need more financial donors. What happens is every time we add, we call them coordinators, country leaders, need another $350 to $400 for travel money and Bibles. So we need that, and that's a good reason for me to be in the United States. I close this up by saying we'd love to send you our newsletters. I think they're very interesting. People that get them like them. And the way you can get them is just send me an email. My address is rbkampala@gmail.com. rbkampala@gmail.com. Just write newsletters and I'll put you on the newsletter list, and also the prayer list. Thanks.
And also you can write us with any questions you might have, because in a few minutes we can't tell you everything we're doing, and we would love to communicate. And we also like to know what's going on in the lives of our supporters. We really feel far away from them when we don't hear from them. So we thank this church for being supporters and prayer partners, and we look forward to what God has to do with all of us in the future.